What's the deal? It's your boy Jason Mike, Mr. Athletic over everything. Just to get this started, I typically don't make videos about battle rap. I've been in the culture for years, buying the pay-per-views, watching all the big events, all the big battles, and I've never really spoke on anything. But the situation that's going on with Battle Truth, I believe needs to be heard from a different set of lenses or a different lens. Battle Truth is 1000% wrong. He is really on some fuck shit. But to be perfectly honest with you, he comes from a generation where that's what those guys did. I'm 44 years old. I graduated from high school in 1996. My freshman year was 1993 or something like that. Growing up in New Orleans, you hear a term that you guys know now as a juvie. You hear about juvenile, things of that nature. But in New Orleans, in terms of slang, used to hear that term like, yo, I got me a juvie. A juvie was referring to a young woman, right? Or a youngster. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you would hear 18, 19-year-olds talk about a girl that was in junior high school that they had. They might have been in 6th, 7th grade or something like that. They would walk them home from school, sit on the porch with them. May not be dealing with them yet, but it was almost like they were grooming them. And that's a key term to be used in this particular video. I was like the square kid in the neighborhood, short, fat, didn't have a lot of girls or things of that nature. So the guys that were like drug dealers in the neighborhood, had a car in the neighborhood, would be detrimental to somebody like myself. You know what I'm saying? Growing up during that time, didn't sell drugs, didn't have the latest Jordans or Jabos or whatever the case may be. I'm discussing this from a standpoint of someone who saw it happen to them in 4K and then turned around and became a school teacher who saw the kids that I grew up with going back to the schools to deal with these young girls as a teacher. And this is mainly happened from different reasons, because you had guys who couldn't get girls when they were younger, and now that they're older, had jobs, they had whatever situations, you saw them double back. I had friends who were dealing with young girls when I was in college. Became a teacher. I'm teaching history, world history at 23, 24 years old. And I'm seeing guys I went to school with, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? What's happening? I'm like, yo, your brother, your little sister go here. Like, nah, my old lady go here. I'm here to pick her up. And I'm sitting up there like, this is crazy, right? This is early 2000s, 2001, 2002 type situation. So what I honestly believe happened is that Battle Truth really thought that it was okay, because the time in which he grew up in. And to be perfectly honest with you, he did grow up in a time where fucked up shit like that was okay. I'm talking about it was accepted from the parents. Battle Truth said he's going to go live tomorrow. His situation looks terrible. No matter what he says or what he pulls out, he's done. But I was a school teacher, and I remember telling parents like, yo, your daughter is dealing with grown men who are 26, 27 years old, guys who were graduated high school before I did. And the mothers would say, he breaking bread, he paying the light bill, he has a car. They would justify the shit. So I think there's a bigger issue other than the guy that's Battle Truth. Battle Truth clearly is one of those guys who wasn't a good looking guy. He didn't, he preyed upon these younger girls due to the situation that, he had all this money from selling drugs or whatever the case may be. You saw this happen a lot in some of the communities in which we grew up in. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys are in your early 20s, maybe even early 30s. But those guys that grew up from 38 to maybe 45, you would understand where this comes from. It's the same shit that's happened with R. Kelly. R. Kelly's family members, in some of these cases, the fathers were dropping their little teen daughters off to R. Kelly, delivering them. You know what I'm saying? Hoping that he can make them a star, and didn't care if he slept with them or did whatever with them. It was the times in which we lived in. It doesn't mean that the times in which we lived in were correct. The shit was fucked up. I remember being a 15, 16-year-old kid and couldn't date a girl your own age because she was dating somebody 25, 26 years old or older. In New Orleans, you know, they break bread. You know what I'm saying? They were able to buy the little girls the little bullshit Reeboks. They didn't have to catch the bus. The little dudes would come to the schools in the little bucket ass cars and pick the girls up. And you saw this all through high school. I'm talking about all through high school. This was the situation. This was what it was. But I think one of the bigger discussion points to me is, with him knowing he had this shit on his jacket, why on earth would he ever bring up Chris's name in this situation, especially with a jacket like this? I know a lot of guys who were older, who grew up around me. They're ashamed of the shit that they did back in the day. You know what I'm saying? There's also a fragment of people that that used to do dumb shit, like some of the stuff that he's talking about in the videos about, if a dude go down on you, you not gay. So that was okay. You used to hear that kind of shit, and all the stuff that he talks about is from that time frame. So he, I believe, is basically thinking that the shit that he was doing was cool because he's mentioned things over the years he's been on YouTube like it was okay. Like, I thought about being with the opposite sex and all this kind of stuff when he was locked up. None of that stuff would get said in today by somebody under the age of 45, 46 years old. But he said it. I think he set himself a trap and he got caught in it. I believe that the situation that he's in, he deserves to be in. It sounds, and he's admitted, I just saw it myself in a video that I just watched, and he talked about how girls used to go and lie on dudes in different neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff. Everything he's saying is correct. Girls will go be 14, 15 years old, go to another neighborhood, lie about the age, and deal with guys. I've seen it happen. But just because you didn't know doesn't mean it didn't happen. And since it did happen, you were dealing with underage girls, period. There's no way to get around it. And the fact that you're mentioning it and then making it like you're the victim, you're not a victim. You were dealing with someone who was younger. You didn't go to jail for it. You should have been grateful for it, the fact that you didn't go to jail for it. But then you also had children by these women, so it makes the situation multiply. But it still comes back to the same thing. With things like this in your past, why on earth would you go so hard on someone like Chris? Chris's situation is not the best look, but I could understand the stuff that he's saying being true, in terms of he was set up, the case looks kind of funny, he joked the girls on the money, or joked the girl on the money. She said he did something to her. I could see that happening. But when you're in a situation where you're dealing with underage girls and expecting the community to get behind you, or like this isn't a big deal, it's over for you. You're done. You know what I'm saying? And I do remember situations where guys would run trains on girls, and it'll be a bunch of guys, and the girl gets pregnant, and next thing you know, somebody's the father. You know, you put yourself in these kind of situations, bad things always tend to happen. But I will say, during that time, you saw a lot more situations where the girl was severely underage. I'm talking 15, the guy was 25, and that was normal. Now to go into, I graduated from college. I played college baseball. I modeled. I've been at Ebony, Essence. I've done a bunch of different things in my younger adult life, and I remember teaching and feeling like I had to protect myself because I was so young. I was 22, 23 years old, teaching high school. And I remember one day a kid in my class was like, Jason? I'm like, don't call me by my first name. My name is Mr. Mike. He said, man, I played basketball with you. I got locked up when you went off to college. So I'm sitting up there literally teaching somebody I played high school basketball with. This is 5-6 years later, right? Now, these situations, when they happen, the school board and the school systems typically try to make sure that they don't interact much with the regular student population. If you've had any gang involvement, any fights, any drug cases or anything like that, they will not let you finish a school year around regular age kids. But I do remember situations that came up where guys were 26, 27 years old, and the girls in my classes were 17, 16 years old with babies by them, and nobody said anything from the parents to the school board or whatever. But I think that for him to have this kind of thing on his jacket, he should not have been talking the way he has been talking. The people that I know that were in these kind of situations, they never talk about it. They're ashamed of it. I think he believed because she lied, it was okay, and it was never okay. I hope that this was a valuable lesson for him. He's a 50-year-old man. It seems to me like he was a pimp or something of that nature. So he's saying that he didn't really have a real relationship with the girl's mother. She went away and he reconnected with her. So it makes it like it's okay. I think he got caught up in a situation where he thought he was going to look like a Mac. If you ever see older guys bring their little sugar mamas around their older friends, and it's like, oh, look at this young thing I got. It's like a trophy almost. In this situation, the trophy actually hit him upside the head because it's going to wind up being the thing that takes him out. But this was like something that I just wanted to talk about. I know, like I said, I never talk about battle rap stuff, but everything that he's talking about, the way that he's talking about it, it was to the detriment of the young Wonder Year kid that was 15, 16 years old growing up during this time, and you could not find a girl your age to date. It just wasn't going to happen. They were looking for drug dealers. They were looking for the guys that had money, and it didn't matter if the guy was 10 years older than them or whatever. And a lot of times in impoverished areas, you had schools where no one had a car. I went to John McDonough in New Orleans, or John Mack. I was there for 3 years. During the time I was there, there were maybe 4 students with cars the entire 4 years I was there. So anytime one of the local drug dealer kids rolled up in a car that had some rims on it, or it looked like they had money, they had the baddest girls at the school. So this is a very bad learned behavior that happened back then, and it should not be going on now. He should not be in a situation. If he presented himself at any point in time as this young woman's guardian to his family, friends, no matter what the situation is, he's dead ass wrong. I believe that all that's going to come with this is because of the way he handled the situation with Chris. Listen, I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I believe that Chris is innocent. It sounds like a Joe situation. It sounds like he had the girl, dance for him or whatever the case may be. He paid her in fake money and she josed him. And to be honest with you, if it does come out that he's wrong, I'll be on his ass just the same. But I think everyone in this situation should just wait until the situation plays out or use common sense. If he raped or did all the things that Battle Truth has claimed that he has done, they would not have let him out of jail at all. So I hope the situation gets cleared up, but I believe the more that Battle Truth talks, the more it's gonna look bad on him. You know what I'm saying? I think if he would have just stuck to being the funny blogger, he would have had his own lane. He did not have to turn this into what he did. So this is a karma situation, and I wish the best for all in the situation. All right, guys. Later.